BBC1, Dennis Taylor plays Wilbur Walker in Snooker Taylor Made.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Johnny, nice to see us all togged up this evening.
Thank you very much.
Being casual for all the 4 programmes. And we're going to have a gentleman to help us out in this final programme because, as Johnny mentioned, we're going to be playing a full frame of snooker. And I'd like you to give him a big welcome because he's one of your own international players from the Belfast area, Wilbur Walker. So give Wilbur a nice big hand. And once again, back to the stance. Just check everything. Cue action, the chin right on the cue. Now, as you can see, that's opened the reds up quite a bit. And if I could break off like that every time, I would hit the second red.
I don't really fancy this.
And in fact, another interesting point when Wilbur gets down to, if you just get down to address the ball, we did stress in the first programme that you must put your chin on the cue. Now, Wilbur's played the game for 30-odd years, I'm sure, and as you can see, he's a few inches off the cue, but he's got used to playing that way.
Not impressive.
In fact, a lot of the pool players, the American pool players, when they play the game, they stand up, in fact, use a loop bridge. But all the professional snooker players, if you watch them, they get right down with their chin right on the cue. We've got a knockout shot here, striking over the red ball, which is blocking the pass, so I can't make the traditional bridge hand. So I've got to raise the fingers high in the air, keep the thumb stuck up in the air, still got that V there. It makes the shot much more difficult. And hopefully just pot the red and snooker myself on the blank.
Dennis Taylor, 1.
So we'll have a go at the yellow.
Good shot.
Well, that was a pretty good pot, but couldn't really get any position there. But maybe we could have a go at a double here. And if we can go back to the stance again, once again, that back leg is perfectly straight. The right leg is slightly bent. Nice firm bridge with the thumb and forefinger there, making a nice V. And over to you, Wilbur.
Dennis Taylor, 3.
In fact, if we have a look at Wilbur's, he was just a little bit unlucky there, but just his stance here, if we can pick it up on the camera there, Wilbur's got the absolutely perfect stance here.
Which indeed. I didn't know that before.
He told me to tell you that. But the perfect stance.
Three.
You sure this is not the silver fox without his glasses? Now, an interesting point there, you had to play the forcing shot, and look where your cue finished.
It's not finished, Dennis.
If we could just go
4 away from rushing.
He's not Russian, he's Irish. But although he's potted the red, he had to play the forcing shot there. So what happened, he's really forced the shot, and the cues come up in the air. because you could hear you hitting the table. So instead of going through in a straight line, you just come up.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, well, we'll sort that out for you.
But you're still on
your,
four
still your
score,
shot.
You wanted to play another shot?
Well, the red went in the middle pocket, you see.
I didn't see that.
Did you?
Must have got there.
You mean you didn't play
I
it?
didn't see that. Try one of these Dennis Taylor crosses, I think, here.
Four away. Dennis, can I say something? I've noticed in match play, I know with amateurs, they love the double. Everybody's always going for doubles. But actually on television in match play, you very seldom play doubles. Why is that?
In fact, yeah, you very rarely see the professional going for a double unless it's what we call a shot to nothing. Because really you've no control over the shot. I mean, if you don't get the double, the red or the colour is going to hit either angle, and it can go anywhere. And really you're taking too much of a risk and could lose the frame through it. But on the odd occasion, if you know that the white's in a safe position, then you'll have a go at the double.
One.
Now, we didn't quite come far enough. I wanted to be straighter on the blue, so we've got a slight angle on the blue, but I can still play for this red, but we've got to play the nice little screw shot to take the white over this angle.
Why not follow through down here and come back?
Yeah, do you want to... Very good point, but as you can see, the brown is slightly impeding the path of the cue ball. So really I would cannon into the brown and leave myself with no position.
Six.
But as you can see, things are a little bit tied up here. The pink and black's tied up, the green's there nicely in the open. So maybe we'll just try and disturb a few of them around here. Maybe get the pink out into the open. So once again, I've got to play this with a lot of screw. Well, we nearly managed it.
Seven.
And we'll have a go at the green into the middle pocket this time.
Ten.
You know, if I keep getting those, I might think of turning professional. So very difficult here. The black and pink still tied up. So not a lot I can do because I'm absolutely straight on the red. So really all I can do is roll the red in or just screw the white back a little bit. So we'll try and just come back past where the white is at the moment and have a go at a difficult black. Now, this is a very difficult shot, but because the black is on the cushion, if it was slightly out from the cushion, it would make it even more difficult. But if you hit the cushion and the black at the same time, you've got every chance of knocking that ball in along the cushion. Now, normally, I would play this left-handed, but because I've lost so many matches using the rest, I decided to put some practice in with the rest. So we'll have a go at using the rest. Now, we haven't spoken about playing with the rest in the previous programs, and basically all it is, although this is a slightly different angle to you normally would be using the rest, you've got to just hit the white smack in the middle again. But where I used to go wrong, I knew what I was doing wrong when using the rest. Instead of getting it straight through, I used to pull my elbow round and pulled it off to the right. So I've been putting a bit of practice into that. So you just want to push the cue through in a perfectly straight piston-like action, straight line. Now we're back with a nice little stun shot this time. A little bit of screw as well to take the white up towards the black. Because if you were just to pot the red and roll it, you would go in here and finish with no position. So back again with that nice little stun shot, which takes you nicely onto the black here.
90.
So with this shot here, I'm perfectly straight on the black, so if I screw back, it's like we were talking about in the last program. If I screw back without any side, the white will hit the cushion and come off at this angle. So I'm going to have to play it with reverse side, which is lots of left-hand side and hitting the white right on the bottom, so that when it spins and hits the cushion, it'll go off to the right. So it's left-hand side to make the ball go to the right.
7:30.
No, it's only 7:45. In fact, Johnny was just referring to the clock on the cue ball. We use that for follow-through and different positions striking the white. So I'm striking this here at about 7 o'clock, really. Now the white shoots off at this angle here. Now we're in a little bit of a situation here. If we can see the angle here, I can pot the red, but I've got a cannon into this red. So hopefully that'll clear the pink a little bit, and the white should run on through and finish on the black. Now this is where we're striking the white at 12 o'clock, getting the top spin on the shot.
27.
So there we've opened the pink up and finished nicely on the black. And now we're left with a situation if you had Jimmy White playing here. As you can see, these 3 balls are tied up here. There's 2 loose reds here. So I could pot the black and play for either this red or this one. But Jimmy would probably go in, play a cannon into the 3 reds to open the game up a little bit more. So what he would do, he'd pot the black with a little bit of follow-through and a little bit of left-hand side to come off the cushion to cannon into the 3 reds. And there we go. That's sort of...
I'm so intent on watching you play, I keep forgetting the score. I think that's 34, is it? 34.
Now we're left with a situation we've virtually... When you get to this position, you're starting to think to yourself, I can win the frame from here, because you've opened all the reds up. There's only this one that's a little bit difficult. So now you've got to concentrate on your cue action on all these, because if you don't cue perfectly straight, that's when you miss the pot.
Would you not try that one into the bottom bag and come back for black?
Well, you could do, but looking at the 2 pots, I would feel this is a much easier pot, because I'll just play down for the blue and then come back up to the reds. But we'll take your advice on this occasion. So now I've got to strike and just hopefully screw the white back to here. So I'm coming back at an angle, and once again people say to you, oh, you have to put side on the cue ball to bring it back to that angle. Well, you don't. You just still hit the white smack in the center, round about 6 o'clock as you look at the ball. And if you pot the red, it'll come back at that angle and finish right there on the black. And now we've got the nice angle. You always hear the commentators talking about he's straight on the black, but when you get an angle, that's what you're looking for all the time. It makes the shot much more easy for position. So another screw shot. No side on this at all, because we've got a slight angle on the black. And there we are, nicely back onto the red.
42.
Now this is just a straightforward little shot, just concentrating on pushing the cue through nice and straight, and just roll the red in nicely on the black.
43.
Now I'd start thinking about going for the difficult red, because I've got an angle here. As you can see, Johnny, I've got the angle just to pot the black and finish up somewhere around here. I don't want to leave myself straight on the red, otherwise I'll run out of position with the next shot. So
It's not necessary to move the red.
well, no, you could move the red there, but you might knock it into a position where you couldn't pot it. So just to come back out off the cushion with a nice little stun shot.
49.
The idea is to make things as simple as possible for yourself. And this one here is just a straightforward roll-through shot again. If I play for the red just to reach the pocket and drop in, I should come nicely out on the black here. Once again, no side.
50. I thought Wilbur had gone home, but no, he's still here.
Well, things are really going well here. So now I've got a choice. This is where I'm saying you can play for two. You can play for two balls here. This red will pot into this pocket, obviously. Now this one, I could also get onto if I got the white down into this position here, somewhere around the chalk mark there. So I've got a choice of what to play for. So if I underhit this, I'll still finish on this red, so I'll play for the more difficult one. Are we on the chalk mark?
Yeah, just about. Just an inch short. 57. Or 58, whichever you like.
Right, well now we've got a slight problem position-wise here. Because if I just roll the red in, I'm going to cannon into the pink and knock the pink towards the side cushion. So it's a little bit tricky. There is a gap through here, which is quite a difficult shot. In fact, the pink, as you can see there, if you look down the camera angle, the pink will pot into this pocket here. So if I could pot the red and somehow stun in between the gap here, I would finish on the pink back into the pocket. It's a little bit tighter than I thought it was.
$65.
And once again, all these little shots again are what I was saying about break building.
They look very easy.
Well, that's it's a bit like when I play golf with a professional. It makes it look so easy, but when I have a go, it's a waste of time, really. But the secret of break building is stun and screw shots, as we mentioned before. And once again, I can pop this red into the middle pocket here, and I'm going to screw over for the pink back into that same pocket. Now that was just slightly overhit, so this time I'm going to have to roll the pink in to use the cushion and come back out for the red.
That's 66.
There's a little bit lucky there.
72.
Well, I didn't think it was possible to make a 100 break talking my way through it. I'm going to break down somewhere here. Now this is where you get to the situation where we've got the last red left on the table. Now it's essential that you get an angle on the black to give yourself a chance to get down for the yellow. So if I leave myself straight on the black, I'm going to be struggling a little bit. So I'll come round and just have a little look, and that's the point there where the black would be straight. So I'll just run on till about about 2 inches past the first chalk mark there.
It's a pity you're not allowed to do that in competition, isn't it?
Wouldn't it be good?
Wouldn't it be good?
And now we've got an angle on the black.
73.
And this is a stun shot again. Don't really need any side, maybe a little bit of left-hand side, but as I say, that makes the pot a little bit more difficult. So we're going to try and stun off about a foot above the middle pocket. And a little bit of side should take the cue ball down towards the yellow.
Not bad, is it?
And
80.
Now we're back to the situation where we had our good friend in the last program clearing the colours up off the spot.
Yes.
So once again, this is another screw shot to get back to the angle on the green.
82.
As you can see, most of the shots in this break have all been screw and stun shots. Now that was under hit slightly. In fact, it hit the side of the pocket, didn't go in cleanly, so it stopped the cue ball from going exactly where I wanted it. I wanted it to be out here somewhere.
85.
So now it's getting a little bit, this is where you start getting a little bit nervous when you get near the 100 break. So we've got to force the brown in with a lot of stun, you know, a little bit of a screw shot to force the white up towards here. But this is one that takes years and years of practice. In fact, I've overdone that one.
And he's the wrong side of the blue. 89!
Well, we've got a slight problem because now we've got the white close to the cushion, and all the way through the break I managed to keep the white away from the cushion, and this is where it becomes more difficult. So to get into the striking position for the white here, if you remember a few programs ago, what you do is you change your normal grip on the cue, which is almost at the end. You go up the cue quite a bit so that you can keep the cue as horizontal as possible. The bridge hand's different because you're now bridging on the cushion again, but you still got to have a fairly firm bridge. And I've got to try and force the blue into the pocket and take the white around the angles. There's a chance the white might go into the bottom pocket. You've got to keep your head perfectly still on this shot. Oh. Now, that blue wouldn't drop in there, would it? No.
89! Over to Dennis Taylor, 92-4, I think it was.
Well, it was amazing. I just missed out on the 100 break, but I think Wilbur's been a great sport to come along, and we did see a little bit of his cue action in that, so I think he deserves a nice big round of applause. Thank you very much. And seeing as we're in the last program, Johnny, we're going to try something a little bit special here. We're going to go and try and equal the world record for the machine gun shot. In fact, that was done in Hong Kong last summer by Tony Knowles. I came a close second. He, in fact, did it with 11 reds. So we're going to have a go for 11 reds just to see how we get on.
What can we say, Dennis? What a way to finish 5 programs.
Well, absolutely amazing. As I say, Tony holds the world record. That was done in Hong Kong. I've equaled it, so maybe next time we might have a go at the 12.
I hope you've enjoyed looking in. 5 programs where I'm sure you've learnt so much about snooker that you didn't know before. Can we thank the master, Dennis Taylor?